The Sound of Music, 1965, captured the hearts of millions, becoming one of the most iconic films of its time. But beyond the enchanting melodies and unforgettable performances lies a tale of lives marked by triumphs and tragedies. What happened to the beloved cast members after the spotlight faded? How did accidents and unexpected events shape their paths? In this exclusive exploration, we delve into the lives of these stars in 2025, uncovering stories of resilience, loss, and transformation that will surprise and move you. Julie Andrews portrayed Maria at the age of 29 during the filming of The Sound of Music in 1964. Her performance as the free-spirited governess captured hearts worldwide, yet her own life was far from a fairy tale. She married set designer Tony Walton, but the marriage crumbled under the weight of her growing fame. Her second marriage to director Blake Edwards lasted decades but was fraught with long periods of separation and misunderstandings. She had one daughter, Emma, and two stepchildren, but family life was never as harmonious as it seemed. Tragedy struck when she lost her singing voice due to a botched surgery, sending her into deep despair. The deaths of Edwards and many close friends further isolated her. Though she found solace in writing children's books, the loneliness of old age crept in. Once a woman who could charm the world with a song, she now speaks in whispers of the past. Now 89 years old, her estate is valued at $40 million, yet wealth has never filled the silence left by lost melodies. Christopher Plummer played Captain George Von Trapp at the age of 34. His commanding presence on screen masked a turbulent reality. A difficult man by his own admission, he struggled with alcohol for years, which contributed to the collapse of his first two marriages. His daughter, Amanda, became a successful actress, but their relationship was often strained. He found stability in his third wife, Elaine Taylor, but his regrets over his past haunted him. Despite critical acclaim, he resented The Sound of Music, calling it too saccharine, and spent much of his career trying to escape its shadow. His later years were marred by health struggles, and as he aged, he lamented the roles he turned down and the bridges he burned. On February 5, 2021, at the age of 91, he passed away after a fall, a stark ending for a man who had stood so tall. His estate, estimated at $20 million, remains, but he left behind a legacy of brilliance mixed with bitterness. Richard Haydn, who portrayed Max Detweiler, was 59 years old when he took on the role of the charming yet opportunistic music agent in The Sound of Music, 1965. His performance brought a mix of humor and depth to the film, yet his career after the movie did not reach similar heights. Though he remained active in the industry, he was often typecast in eccentric roles, leading to a slow decline in opportunities. Never married and without children, Haydn led a solitary life, devoting himself to gardening and writing. His reclusive nature, though seemingly peaceful, masked a deep loneliness. He suffered multiple health issues in his later years, including severe arthritis and heart complications. He passed away on April 25, 1985, at the age of 80 due to a heart attack. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at an estimated $1 million, much of which was donated to charity, leaving little behind for distant relatives who barely knew him. Charmian Carr, who portrayed Liesl Von Trapp, was just 21 years old during filming, capturing the innocence and longing of a young girl on the verge of womanhood. Though beloved for her performance, her career after The Sound of Music was tragically brief, with few significant roles. She abandoned acting altogether, citing disillusionment with Hollywood, and turned to interior design. Her personal life was equally fraught. She married Jay Brent in a union that seemed promising but ended in divorce after years of emotional distance and unresolved conflicts. They had two daughters, Jennifer and Emily, but the divorce strained their relationship, and Carr often lamented the disconnection from her children. Throughout her life, she battled chronic health issues, including a long struggle with dementia, which eroded her memories of her once glorious youth. She passed away on September 17, 2016, at the age of 73 from complications of a rare form of dementia. At the time of her death, Her estate was estimated at $1.5 million, much of it earned from her design business rather than her fleeting Hollywood career. Angela Cartwright, who portrayed Brigida Von Trapp at the age of 12 during the filming of The Sound of Music in 1964, embodied the role of the precocious and perceptive middle child with natural charm. Though the film became an immortal classic, Cartwright struggled to transition into serious adult roles, often typecast as the child star she once was. She married Steve Gullion, and while the union endured, it was not without struggles. Cartwright found herself yearning for the creative freedom she had as a child. They had 2 children, Jesse and Rebecca, yet family life was far from harmonious, with constant financial strain and personal frustrations clouding their home. Her career disappointments compounded her sorrows, as the offers dwindled, and she felt forgotten by Hollywood. She suffered the loss of close colleagues, battled periods of depression, and saw her artistic ventures falter before gaining recognition late in life. Now 73, she has turned to art and photography, finding solace in expression. Her estate is valued at approximately $5 million, though she has often spoken of the emptiness wealth could not fill. Kim Carruth, who portrayed the angelic Greta Von Trapp at the age of 6, was the darling of the film, remembered for her cherubic face and innocent lisp. Yet the shadow of her early fame loomed large over her future. She attempted to re-enter Hollywood as an adult, but the industry had little interest in the former child star. Marrying Philippe Lecquelbec, she sought comfort in domestic life, but tragedy struck when their only son, Eric, was born with severe health complications, leading to years of struggle and heartbreak. Her marriage, already fragile, could not withstand the strain, and the divorce left her emotionally shattered. Financial instability followed, as failed business ventures and poor investments eroded her savings. The deaths of several close family members, a prolonged illness, and the loss of her former castmates further darkened her later years. Though she still engages with fans and makes appearances at film reunions, the sadness in her eyes tells a story of dreams left behind. Now 67, her estate is valued at $1 million, a modest sum compared to the vast fortune the film generated, none of which ever truly belonged to her. Peggy Wood played Mother Abbess at the age of 72, embodying wisdom and kindness in The Sound of Music, 1965. Despite her acclaimed performance, she struggled to find meaningful roles afterward due to her advancing age. Her long and often arduous career in Hollywood left her exhausted, and she retreated from the limelight soon after the film's release. Her personal life was marked by sorrow. Her husband, writer John Weaver, passed away early in their marriage, leaving her widowed for decades. Though she never remarried, she poured her love into her only child, John Jr., but their relationship was strained by his rebellious nature and financial dependence on her. In her final years, she battled memory loss and declining health, often isolated in a nursing home with few visitors. She passed away on March 18, 1978, at the age of 86 due to complications from a stroke. Her estate, valued at approximately $500,000, was left mostly to charities, with little left for her estranged son. Heather Menzies-Urich, who portrayed Louisa Von Trapp at the age of 14 in The Sound of Music, embodied the mischievous yet lovable spirit of the Von Trapp children. Though the film launched her career, she never escaped its shadow. Typecast and struggling for meaningful roles, she drifted into minor television appearances before fading from the industry. Her personal life bore its own weight of sorrow. Married to actor Robert Urich, their union seemed idyllic but was marked by relentless battles with his illness. They had 3 children, Allison, Ryan, and Emily, yet the specter of loss loomed over the family. Heather faced financial instability following Robert's passing in 2002, forcing her to live modestly. She also fought a private battle with brain cancer, a cruel twist of fate that claimed her life on December 24, 2017, at the age of 68. Her final years were spent in quiet solitude, reflecting on the fleeting nature of fame and love. At the time of her passing, her estate was estimated at $1 million, a bittersweet remnant of a life that once held such promise. Eleanor Parker, who portrayed the Baroness, was 42 years old during filming, exuding elegance and sophistication. Yet behind the glamour was a life filled with heartbreak. She married 4 times, each ending in sorrow, either through divorce or the death of a spouse. Her 3 children, Susan, Sharon, and Richard, were her only constants, yet even those relationships were strained by her frequent absences due to work. As Hollywood's golden age faded, so did her career, leaving her struggling with loneliness and financial uncertainty. Health issues plagued her later years, and she withdrew from the public eye entirely. The once radiant star passed away on December 9, 2013, at the age of 91 from complications of pneumonia. Her estate, valued at $5 million, was a fraction of what she once possessed, but her true loss was the adoration of an industry that had long since moved on. Her beauty and poise remained in memory, but the real woman behind the Baroness lived and died with quiet sorrow. Nicholas Hammond, who played Friedrich von Trapp at just 13, carried the burden of early fame throughout his career. Though he later found success portraying Spider-Man in the 1970s, the typecasting was relentless, and he never reclaimed the prominence of his early years. Relationships proved no less cruel. Though he never married, he experienced failed romances that left him disillusioned with love. The loneliness of an unfulfilled personal life haunted him, though he buried himself in writing and directing in an attempt to outrun it. Friends became his only solace, as family ties grew distant over time. Financially, he never reached the heights of his contemporaries, his estate modest despite a lifetime in entertainment. Now 73 years old, he remains active but battles the melancholy of an artist who was once a beloved child star yet never truly found his place in Hollywood's ruthless machine. His net worth stands at an estimated $3 million, a sum that pales against the fortune of nostalgia he carries in his heart. Dwayne Chase, the boyish yet endearing Kurt Von Trapp, was just 13 when The Sound of Music catapulted him into a world he would ultimately reject. The lure of Hollywood could not compete with the stability of academia, and he vanished from the spotlight, opting for a career in geology. But even outside the industry, struggles followed. His first marriage crumbled under the weight of unfulfilled dreams, and though he later remarried, happiness remained elusive. Fatherhood brought fleeting joy, but distance and time eroded connections with his children. Financially, his career provided stability, but never the wealth of his former co-stars. Retirement brought reflection, and in solitude, he often wondered if he had made the right choice leaving Hollywood behind. Now 73, he lives quietly, his estate valued at around $2 million, a testament to a pragmatic life, if not necessarily a happy one. Debbie Turner played Marta Von Trapp at the tender age of 8, portraying the sweet and eager-to-please youngest daughter next to Gretel. Her departure from acting was swift, as Hollywood held no future for her. Casting directors saw her only as the little girl from The Sound of Music, never anything more. She eventually sought stability outside the industry, becoming a floral designer, a profession that brought fleeting fulfillment. She married Rick Larson, and they raised 4 children, Rachel, Carrie, Emily, and Nicholas, but the weight of domestic life left her longing for the dreams she had set aside. Her marriage, while enduring, was often punctuated by emotional distance, and she wrestled with the haunting question of what her life could have been. 5 tragedies marked her existence: the devastating loss of her parents, the financial collapse of her business during a recession, a prolonged battle with illness, the estrangement of one of her children, and the isolation that came with growing older in an industry that had long since moved on. Now 69, she remains active in floral design, her estate valued at $2 million, though the wealth has never filled the void of a life left unlived. Anna Lee, who portrayed Sister Margareta at the age of 51 during the filming of The Sound of Music in 1964, brought warmth to the role of the kind-hearted nun who sympathized with Maria's free spirit. Despite her gentle and encouraging presence on screen, Lee's real life was marred by tragedy. She endured 2 failed marriages, first to director Robert Stevenson, with whom she had a daughter, Venetia, and later to George Stafford, a union that ended in emotional distance and heartbreak. Her later years were marked by sorrow when she was left partially paralyzed in a car accident in 1981, forcing her into a wheelchair and ending much of her career. Financial struggles plagued her final decades, leaving her reliant on the generosity of friends. Although she continued to act in small roles, including a long-running stint on General Hospital, the pain of lost mobility and her fading career haunted her. She passed away on May 14, 2004, at the age of 91, her estate estimated at a modest $1 million, much of it eroded by medical expenses. Portia Nelson played Sister Berthe at the age of 44, embodying the strict, no-nonsense nun who disapproved of Maria's playful nature. Off-screen, her life was a complex tale of heartbreak and resilience. A gifted writer and singer, Nelson longed for deeper personal connections, yet never found lasting love. She remained unmarried, pouring her emotions into her music and poetry. Her life took a devastating turn in the 1980s when she was diagnosed with cancer, a battle she faced alone with quiet dignity. A deeply private person, she rarely spoke of the loneliness that accompanied her later years. Despite her contributions to film, literature, and music, she was often overlooked, struggling to find stability as her health deteriorated. She succumbed to cancer on March 6, 2001, at the age of 80. Her estate, estimated at $500,000, was left to charities that supported young artists, a final attempt to leave behind the legacy she had always sought but never fully attained. Ben Wright, who portrayed her Zeller at the age of 50, perfectly captured the menacing Nazi sympathizer, a stark contrast to his real-life persona as a warm yet troubled man. A talented voice actor, he found himself typecast, struggling to maintain a steady career in Hollywood. His marriage to Muriel Wright, though long-lasting, was fraught with tension due to financial instability and the increasing pressure of an industry that often overlooked character actors like him. They had no children, which added to his sense of isolation as he aged. His declining health in the late 1980s, compounded by years of smoking, led to his untimely death from lung cancer on July 2, 1989, at the age of 74. His later years were spent in relative obscurity, his once promising career overshadowed by younger talents. When he passed away, his estate was valued at a mere $200,000, a tragic reminder of how quickly Hollywood forgets those who once graced its screens. Who is your favorite character from The Sound of Music? How does it feel knowing that some of the actors are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads. Thank you for your support.